Okay, once I've got my animation going and I've tested it to see, and if I have all of, I don't have to wait until I have all of the balls animated, because just hitting play, basically it plays it at the speed that it's set to, and it's based off of how good your video card is. If you want a real accurate, and the way you're also going to turn it in is by doing a PlayBlast. And the way a PlayBlast works is we have to just set it up. So I can do a side or a front view in this case, and also a perspective view. So the way I'd want to do it, I could hit play and see what my animation looks like right now, so far. And I would speed up the end, but just so I could see what that looks like. I'm going to right click. Go to PlayBlast Options, and here's where we want to make sure none of these are checked up here. I'm saving as a QuickTime movie. We'll go over encoding, what a codec is and which one to use. My personal machine has a lot of codecs. I'm just going to use MPEG-4 at 100% quality. And for display size, I'm going to choose Custom and set it to 1280 by 720, and this will give me a nice resolution of what the window is. Scale 100%. And by default, it's like, oh, remove temporary files, save to file. It'll save a file in my project. And it'll take the name of whatever I'm working on. Later on, what I would do is I would do, when I get my final pieces, PlayBlast I want to do, I will save one PlayBlast as the front. And I want to make sure, before I hit PlayBlast, that it's zoomed in so I'll be able to see the animation fairly well. Because this is what it's going to take it from. So that looks good. I'm just going to hit PlayBlast. And it runs through the whole thing, and it then saves it to a movie file. Now, there's one thing I forgot to do, right? Which was press 7 and make sure, yep, there we are. So we're in our viewport 2.0, which should be good. Maybe crank that up just a little bit higher so it's a little bit easier to see. For the front view, it's not going to make too big of a difference. We just want to be able to make sure that we could see it bouncing. So if I just right click and PlayBlast, it's going to go with the last settings and overwrite the previous one, which is fine. Okay. Then I will switch to my perspective view, and here's where it's saving it right now in my data file, so that's just something to be aware of. So I want to make sure I frame this properly, and I want to be able to see those shadows. That's why we added the lights and turned the shadows on. Okay, that might be okay, just something like that. So now I'll right click, go to PlayBlast Options, and I will just call this one for perspective, and then hit PlayBlast. And that means I'll have 2 of those files in there. So now, if I were to test those files, I'd go into my classroom folder under Data. And if I go by last modified, let's just view these in details. And there they are here. So I can actually then test them out and see what they look like. And this will give me a much more accurate of what the actual files are like. Oops. And let's move you over here. There we are. It's just having some little weird drawing issues. I think it's because I have a bunch of things open, and I'm also recording on my screen, so it's a lot of stuff that it's doing. Hey, dude, what are you trying to do to me? Let's close you up. Okay. Oh, you know what it is? Hold on. I think I know what that is. I'm going to open these up on my computer with VLC instead of QuickTime. Yes, that was it. So see, there's my animation. So those are my animations, and these are what you would turn in. Every once in a while, it's a good idea to actually do a PlayBlast while you're animating, because this is going to be the most accurate. So sometimes you'll be animating, and if your settings are wrong, things will go really quick, and you're wondering why. When you PlayBlast it acts weird, but the PlayBlast is going to give you a true view of what the animation is like. Right now it's rendering hardware, and sometimes you get weird artifacts like it skips frames, so it stays at a 24 frames a second. So that's the best way of doing it, and this is how you'll be turning this in, and your blockouts for when you're doing your character animations, your narrative animation.